To achieve a 4-inch elevation for side-mounting plugs, consider these methods. Firstly, stacking 2 layers of 3/4-inch plywood on top of tooksfors offers a sturdy and straightforward solution. Secondly, inserting a 1-inch spacer rod, such as a wooden dowel or metal rod, vertically between the tooksfors and the plywood provides a secure and level surface for mounting the plugs. Thirdly, filling the 1-inch gap between the tooksfors and the plywood with fire-resistant foam provides support and insulation, potentially meeting code requirements for fire protection. For building fireboxes around exhaust fans, explore these options. Firstly, prefabricated fireboxes specifically designed for exhaust fans are available, made of non-combustible materials for easy installation. Secondly, construct a custom firebox using fire-resistant drywall or cement board, ensuring it extends at least 6 inches beyond the fan opening in all directions while providing sufficient space for airflow and servicing. Thirdly, install a fire damper in the ductwork connected to the exhaust fan. This will close automatically in case of fire, preventing the spread of smoke and flames. Additional tips include consulting local building codes for specific requirements regarding fireboxes and side-mounted plugs. Ensure that all electrical connections are made to code and properly inspected. Use fire-resistant caulk or sealants to seal any gaps or openings around the fireboxes. And finally, test all fire protection measures, such as fire dampers and fireboxes, to ensure they are functioning correctly. When side-mounting electrical plugs 4 inches above the floor, several methods can be employed to achieve the desired height while maintaining structural integrity and safety. These methods include using plywood, spacer rods, or fire-resistant foam. Using plywood involves calculating the required thickness to achieve the 4-inch elevation. Since 2 tooksfors provide 3 inches, an additional 1 inch is needed. Stacking 2 layers of 3/4-inch plywood provides a total thickness of 1.5 inches, exceeding the requirement and offering a sturdy base. However, adjustments may be necessary to precisely achieve the 4-inch mark. The plywood should be securely fastened to the tooksfors using screws or nails to ensure stability. When using spacer rods, these are inserted vertically between the tooksfors and the plywood to fill the 1-inch gap. Materials for spacer rods can include wooden dowels or metal rods, chosen for their strength and durability. Ensure the spacer rods are evenly spaced to provide a level surface for mounting the plugs. Secure the spacer rods to both the tooksfors and the plywood using appropriate adhesives or fasteners. Employing fire-resistant foam involves filling the 1-inch gap with fire-resistant foam, which not only provides support but also meets code requirements for fire protection. The foam acts as insulation, preventing the spread of fire and smoke. Ensure the foam is applied evenly and allowed to cure properly before mounting the plugs. It's crucial to verify that the selected foam meets local building codes and safety standards. For building fireboxes around exhaust fans, several methods can be used, including prefabricated fireboxes, custom-built fireboxes, and fire dampers. Using prefabricated fireboxes involves utilizing commercially available fireboxes designed specifically for exhaust fans. These fireboxes are made of non-combustible materials and come in various sizes to accommodate different fan models. Installation typically involves securing the firebox around the fan and ensuring a tight seal to prevent the spread of fire. Verify that the prefabricated firebox meets local building codes and has been tested and certified for fire resistance. When constructing a custom firebox, use fire-resistant drywall or cement board to build a firebox around the exhaust fan. The firebox should extend at least 6 inches beyond the fan opening in all directions to provide adequate protection. Ensure sufficient space for airflow and access for servicing the fan. Use fire-resistant screws and sealants to assemble the firebox and seal any gaps or openings. Installing a fire damper involves placing a fire damper in the ductwork connected to the exhaust fan. This damper is designed to close automatically in the event of a fire, preventing the spread of smoke and flames through the ductwork. Ensure the fire damper is properly sized for the ductwork and installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. Regularly inspect and test the fire damper to ensure it is functioning correctly. Additional tips to consider include consulting local building codes for specific requirements regarding fireboxes and side-mounted plugs. Building codes vary by region, so it's essential to understand and comply with the relevant regulations. Ensure that all electrical connections are made to code and properly inspected. This includes using the correct wiring, grounding, and overcurrent protection devices. Hire a qualified electrician to perform the electrical work if you are not comfortable doing it yourself. Use fire-resistant caulk or sealants to seal any gaps or openings around the fireboxes. This helps to prevent the spread of fire and smoke. Choose caulk and sealants that are specifically designed for fire resistance and follow the manufacturer's instructions for application. Test all fire protection measures, such as fire dampers and fireboxes, to ensure they are functioning correctly. This includes visually inspecting the fireboxes for any damage or deterioration and testing the fire dampers to ensure they close properly in the event of a fire. Proper installation and maintenance of these fire protection measures are essential for ensuring the safety of the building and its occupants. To elaborate further on side mounting plugs, the selection of materials and methods should prioritize safety and compliance with electrical codes. Firstly, using 3/4 inch plywood. When stacking 2 layers to achieve the desired height, it is essential to ensure that the plywood is securely attached to the existing structure. The use of construction adhesive in addition to screws can provide added stability. Furthermore, the surface of the plywood should be smooth and free of splinters to prevent damage to the electrical wiring. The junction box for the electrical outlet should be securely mounted to the plywood, ensuring that it is flush with the surface and properly grounded. Secondly, using a 1-inch spacer rod. The material of the spacer rod should be non-conductive to prevent any electrical hazards. Wood or plastic rods are suitable options. The rod should be cut to the precise length to ensure a level surface for the outlet. The use of adhesive to secure the rods in place can prevent them from shifting over time. The junction box should be mounted to the plywood in such a way that it is properly aligned and does not put any stress on the wiring connections. Thirdly, using fire-resistant foam. This option requires careful consideration of the type of foam used. Ensure that the foam is specifically designed for electrical applications and meets all relevant safety standards. The foam should be applied in a manner that completely fills the gap between the tuxfers and the plywood, providing both support and insulation. The junction box should be mounted to the plywood before the foam is applied, ensuring that it is properly positioned and secured. It is also essential to allow the foam to fully cure before installing the electrical outlet. When building fireboxes around exhaust fans, the primary goal is to contain any potential fire within the box and prevent it from spreading to other areas of the building. Firstly, using prefabricated fireboxes. These are typically made of metal or other non-combustible materials and are designed to fit specific sizes of exhaust fans. The installation process involves securing the firebox to the ceiling joists and ensuring that it is properly sealed to prevent any gaps. The electrical wiring for the fan should be routed through the firebox in a safe and secure manner. It is also essential to ensure that the firebox is properly ventilated to prevent overheating of the fan motor. Secondly, when constructing a custom firebox, the materials used should be fire-resistant and capable of withstanding high temperatures. Fire-rated drywall or cement board are common choices. The firebox should be constructed in such a way that it completely encloses the exhaust fan, with a minimum of 6 inches of clearance on all sides. The seams of the firebox should be sealed with fire-resistant caulk to prevent any gaps. The electrical wiring should be routed through the firebox in a conduit to protect it from damage. Thirdly, installing a fire damper. This device is designed to automatically close in the event of a fire, preventing the spread of flames and smoke through the ductwork. Fire damper should be installed in the ductwork as close to the exhaust fan as possible. It is essential to ensure that the fire damper is properly sized for the ductwork and is installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The fire damper should be regularly inspected to ensure that it is functioning properly. In addition to these specific methods, there are several general considerations that should be taken into account when side-mounting plugs and building fireboxes around exhaust fans. Firstly, always consult local building codes and regulations to ensure compliance. Electrical codes vary from region to region, and it is essential to be aware of the specific requirements in your area. Secondly, ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to have the necessary skills and knowledge to do the job safely. Thirdly, use high-quality materials and components. The quality of the materials used in side-mounting plugs and building fireboxes can have a significant impact on their safety and effectiveness. Fourthly, inspect and maintain all electrical installations regularly. Regular inspections can help to identify potential problems before they become serious hazards. Fifthly, document all electrical work. Keeping accurate records of all electrical work can be helpful for future maintenance and repairs. By following these guidelines, it is possible to safely and effectively side-mount plugs and build fireboxes around exhaust fans. Remember that safety should always be the top priority, and it is essential to take the necessary precautions to prevent electrical hazards. When addressing the issue of side-mounting plugs 4 inches above the floor, it's crucial to consider accessibility requirements as well, ensuring compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act if applicable. This involves not only achieving the correct height but also ensuring that the plugs are easily reachable for individuals with mobility impairment. The choice of materials for achieving this height should also take into account the aesthetic considerations of the custom house. While plywood and spacer rods offer functional solutions, they may not be the most visually appealing. Alternatives such as custom milled wood or decorative metal spacers could be considered to enhance the overall design. In the case of building fireboxes around exhaust fans, the selection of the appropriate fire-resistant materials is paramount. Fire-rated drywall, cement board, and specialized fire-resistant coatings are all viable options, but it's essential to verify that they meet the required fire resistance rating for the specific application. The fire resistance rating, typically expressed in IRs, indicates the amount of time the material can withstand exposure to fire before failing. The design of the firebox should also consider the potential for heat buildup within the enclosure. Adequate ventilation is necessary to prevent the exhaust fan motor from overheating, which could lead to premature failure or even a fire hazard. This can be achieved through the use of strategically placed vents or louvers in the firebox. Furthermore, the installation of a thermal sensor within the firebox can provide an early warning of excessive heat buildup, allowing for corrective action to be taken before a dangerous situation develops. The electrical connections within the firebox should be meticulously executed, using high-quality wiring and connectors that are rated for the expected temperature and current load. All wiring should be properly protected from physical damage, using conduit or other suitable means. The use of wire nuts or other twist-on connectors should be avoided, as these can loosen over time, leading to a potential electrical hazard. Instead, crimp-on connectors or terminal blocks should be used to ensure a secure and reliable connection. Finally, it's essential to thoroughly test the completed installation to verify that all components are functioning correctly and that the firebox is providing the required level of fire protection. This should include a visual inspection of all wiring and connections, as well as a functional test of the exhaust fan and fire damper, if installed. The use of a thermal imaging camera can also be helpful in identifying any areas of excessive heat buildup within the firebox. By carefully considering these factors and following best practices, it's possible to safely and effectively side-mount plugs and build fireboxes around exhaust fans, ensuring the safety and well-being of the occupants of the custom house. And of course, local codes must be adhered to.